Hello everybody. I noticed a problem with this filter that I showed in my last video. It started blowing air. And it seems to be the problem is I've got two pumps down this bucket here, and it's pulling air, I believe, through this line here. And essentially it's not filtering as effectively. You can see it's starting to grow some algae in here. Also, this siphon here, the way I have this set up, the fish keep coming up through the siphon and ending up in the bucket. So I'm going to change this out, and I'll show you what I'm going to do in a little bit here. But yeah, I don't think this is going to work. I also don't like really having these siphons. I mean, I have some redundant ones here, but if I'm out on vacation for a week or so, this only has a few inches before it's gonna dry up. I'd like to be able to have something that's not so dependent on these siphons to be working, because as soon as those go out, the plants will dry out because they're pulling out water out of that bucket. So I'm gonna come up with another idea, which I'll show you in a bit here. All right, so these are the buckets I'm planning to use for the new filter. Basically, the idea I had was I'd have the pumps putting water down into the bottom of this bucket. This one would be full of lava rock. This will fill up, and then when it gets to the top, it'll drain out of this pipe, which I've glued into the top here. And then this will be sitting sort of like this, which will dump into this one, the second bucket. And the second bucket will have some pads in it, probably like some foam pads that I want to fill this up with, and then probably some charcoal, or actually a carbon, I guess. And as the water comes in, it'll drain out of the bottom. And then if the filter gets clogged up and it's not draining fast enough, if it overfills, this is will catch any of that overfill. It'll still drain out. So that's sort of if I'm out, whenever the pads get too clogged for the water to get through, it won't just empty. It won't just fill up the bucket and spill out. So that's the idea anyway. We'll see how this works. I just glued these today, so I gotta give them a little more time to cure. What I did is I used some PVC cement first, let that dry for a day, and then I've just put on some silicone. So just to make sure it doesn't leak. So this should work, I think, but we'll see how it does. Okay, I managed to get the new filter in. A little bit of a challenge because I didn't really have a lot of room under the shelf at the size I built it, but I managed to get it in there. So as you can see, I've moved the pumps down into the pond, and I use paint strainers around them so they don't pick up any large debris. It strains out any debris before it gets to the pump. I put 3 pumps down there. 1 is for watering the plants, and 2 are for the filter. I essentially have a redundancy here, so that the filter will run even if one of the pumps goes out. And I probably will do the same, but I'll need to get another filter. I'll probably do the same for the watering pump as well. So as you can see, the water comes from the pumps in the pond up into this first bucket. It actually is, the pipes go all the way down to the bottom of this bucket. It's full of lava rock, and the water just fills up to the top until it can spill out of that pipe. That pipe then goes into the second bucket. In this bucket, I basically put some foam pads, just like construction foam. I made some little circles like this and just filled that bucket up. When I got near the top, I put some foam around the sides here, so I created a sort of a little indentation there at the top. And then I put a bag of activated carbon in there, and then some stuffing on the top, like a pillow stuffing. And the water pours onto that. So So it seems to be working, and then obviously whenever it gets through all of the foam at the bottom, it comes out here, and it appears to be working. If it ever gets clogged up really bad and I don't get it cleaned in time, I've got the second pipe at the top here, which if any overflow will go into there, and it'll also go down back into the pond, so I'm not spilling any water on the ground. I'll watch it over a few days and see how it does, but it seems to be working good now. I've got these two switches here, switch here and switch here, that run the pumps for the filter, and then of course the timer is still running the pump that waters the plants. So like I said, I'll watch it for a few days and see how it does, but at least seems to be working the way I designed it for now. So talk to you later.